So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, DeAndre, how did you grow this 100K per month business? Where's your following? I don't see all these followers on your Instagram. Like, things are not matching up. In today's video, it's a story time. I'm going to be sharing with you guys, especially the new people who have only been following me over the last couple months, what happened to my last Instagram and why things kind of seem a little bit off and odd. Okay, so let's start off with this. Back in 2020, I invested heavily into my original Instagram. My Instagram was actually hacked, all right? Something called a SIM swap. So I was actually a victim. I don't like the word victim, but I was a victim of a identity theft scheme that was going on in Miami called SIM swapping, okay? So essentially, here's how it works. People, because obviously in this coaching space, we're very vocal, right? I was saying I'm doing this. People were seeing my lifestyle. At the time, I had about 110,000 followers on Instagram. What I would do is I would run these affiliate Zoom calls, right? I would do long form content, the social funnel, the system that I teach. I would run long form content. What I would do then is I would funnel all of those people over to my Instagram, and I ended up building thousands upon thousands of followers. At my peak, I had about 110,000 followers on Instagram. And being a coach and being in my space, I was very open about my incomes, and because my income would obviously attract more people. I was very vocal. And living in Miami, if you guys don't know this, Miami has a lot of scammers in it. And I lived in the most like scam building, right? So the only people that could afford to live in my building were like scammers, movie stars, successful business owners. I was paying like $4,000 a month for but a one bedroom in a luxury apartment. Like movie stars lived there. But the other kind of people that lived there were scammers, right? So I don't know if I came in contact with one of these guys or so on and so forth. But what ended up happening is they ended up starting to lurk on my and watch my stories. And here's essentially what happened. One day I was out in Miami, and gratefully I was out that night, because if I wasn't out, I would have gotten like everything stolen. They stole my cryptos. They got into my bank accounts, my Instagrams, everything. And I'll share that in a second. But I was out with one of my friends, and we were having dinner, and then I was going home at about 2 a.m. when I get a random text message from my carrier, which at the time was T-Mobile. And the T-Mobile said, "Congratulations, your SIM has been swapped or has been changed." And I started thinking to myself, what the heck? Like, why would I get this at 2 a.m? And I had heard of SIM swapping before. Okay, so SIM swapping, if you guys don't know what it is, I made a video about this. I'm just making an update video for the new followers that are like watching my content. They're not going to go back to my last 100 videos. I'll probably attach it right here so you guys can watch it. But essentially what SIM swapping is a person, a scammer, what they do is they get access to your phone number, and then they take your phone number that's on your phone, swap the SIM, which is connected to your number, and they move it into their phone that they have access to. And because they have access to your phone number, what they do is they're able to go through your two-step authorization. So they can get into your emails, your phone numbers, your crypto, so on and so forth, all right? So, and obviously you can see the damage that will happen with that. So I get this message at 2 a.m. saying that my SIM was swapped, and I started getting like this feeling like, okay, I need to go home. Something is happening. And so for me to drive from where I was at this restaurant at 2 a.m. to, and yes, restaurants are open at 2 a.m. in Miami, to get into my apartment, it was only like a 7-minute drive. But by the time I got to my apartment, I walked up, it was probably about 10 minutes at that point. Guys, email after email, like I was getting messages after messages saying your password has been changed. Guys, you have never seen something like this. I don't know if they have a team or have a software that does this, but it was like Instagram, crypto, bank accounts, Snapchat, blase. It was like a list of all of my passwords being changed right before my eyes. In that moment, guys, I was so upset. Your heart falls. Guys, let me tell you this. And I learned this from personal experience. You have two types of homes. You have your physical home, right? Like, and we're in a home right now. You have your TVs, your couches, your computer, your normal living. You have a physical home. Guess what? You also have a digital home. It's your Instagram assets. It's your DM assets. It's your following. It's simply when you go on Instagram and all those people that are watching you. It could be your emails, your cryptos, your bank account, right? You have this digital home, and that can also get robbed as well. And that's what happened during this SIM swap. What they ended up doing was taking my phone number, and they convinced my carrier that I was on the phone saying that, hey, I got a new phone. Can you swap my SIM for a new phone? Which, as you know, the scammer has in his position. Then I don't know what they do, but they have a team or software, and it just goes line by line, changing your passwords. And guess what? The craziest part is this, guys. You've never even thought of this. When somebody gets access to your email, they have access to everything. Because think about this. If you don't have two-step authorization set up and you go log into your Instagram, all they need to do is forgot password. It goes over to your your email, and now they have access. They can change it to whatever they want. And if they lock you out of your email, you are done. And that's what ended up happening. The first thing that they did, other than changing my passwords, was they got into my Instagram, right? And so, like I said, at the time I had 110,000 followers. I would average anywhere between 800 to 1,500 people watching my story during these times. And so what they did was they posted on my story and saying, hey, I need help. You maybe even seen this before. Hey, I need help. Can somebody DM me? And they had some crazy software that messaged all of my people, thousands of people saying, hey, this is and it's in their DM. So they really think it's me, right? It's like the past messages that I've had with them are there. And the messages that these scammers were sending were saying, hey, I'm stuck right now. I need some help. Can you Zelle me some money? And it wasn't a lot of money. It was $500, which sounds really like what's the word I'm thinking about? Realistic to most people, because obviously I'm earning a lot of money. I'm asking for $500, $100 on Zelle. Like, the people are going to do it. And sure enough, some of my people, especially my closest friends, ended up zelling this person, where it ended up getting scammed by this person. So the first thing they do is they DM thousands, some software, all tens of thousands of people. And then they started having conversations on my behalf on my Instagram that they logged me out of, trying to scam my people. Think about that, like scamming your own reputation, right? And people don't even know you. And at the time, I was up at 2 a.m. But if this was happening overnight, gosh, who knows what would have happened? Thank God. But anyways, they started messaging all these people. So there's one wave right there. They're scamming right there, right? My followers. The second thing they're doing is they're posting on my stories saying, hey, can you DM me? And they're just trying to get as much activity as possible in the couple hours that they have access to my account. Then so this is what's happening on behind the scenes. I want you guys to imagine this. I'm sitting at my computer now. I'm not crying, but I'm borderline crying. I'm so stressed out. I can't even call the phone carriers because my phone's not working. So it's imagine this, it's 2:30 in the morning. You're getting scammed right in front of you, and your friends are messaging you, texting you, because obviously on iMessage you have access to Wi-Fi text messages. Friends are calling you on Wi-Fi, and they're like, hey bro, like, what's going on? Are you messaging me? And you just don't know what to do. It's the craziest experience. You have no idea what to do. You're like, oh, how do I even stop this? Like, it's the most like vulnerable feeling you ever get when you're getting scammed, because there's nothing you can do. You can't make phone calls. Everybody's sleeping. And you're like, dude, it's like, I don't know. It's the most ego crazy thing when you're getting scammed and you have no idea what to do. So I'm sitting here at my desk, and so like, I don't know, God works in such magic ways. My friend Anna knocks on my door at 3 a.m. Think about this. What's the chances? Nobody ever knocks on my door at 3 a.m. At 3 a.m, my friend Anna knocks on the door and said, hey, DeAndre, like, how are you doing? Like, randomly. And it just so happened that I was like being scammed in those moments. And I said, Anna, like almost on the verge of tears, like, I'm getting scammed right now. I don't know what to do. And she could obviously see that I was stressed out. So long story short, what we started doing was like getting access to accounts. And the first thing we had to do was get access back to my phone number. So using Anna's phone, we called T-Mobile at the time and saying, hey, I'm getting scammed right now. What's going on? And sure enough, they verified that somebody had called and swapped my number. And they said, hey, you just called a couple hours ago and swapped your number. I said, no, I didn't. Change my number back. And the guy, the rep was like, hey, man, unfortunately, you can only change it once every 24 hours. I think I almost started crying. I don't remember. Everything was a haze at that point, because they also got into my crypto. Like, I got email, like notifications from crypto.com and Coinbase that they were in my crypto. And at the time I had a sizable amount of crypto in there and my bank accounts. And I was just crying. I'm like, dude, I'm literally getting like scammed clean right now. And so I remember being on the phone with the rep guy, like almost crying probably at that point. Like, guy, dude, I understand your policies, but I'm literally getting scammed right now. Somebody's doing this. Can you please change my number back? And I don't know what he did, but I think he went behind the scenes. He's like, dude, I can't do it, but let me see what I can do. And he came back on the phone 5 minutes later, and he ended up bringing my number, my original phone number, back onto the phone that I had in my possession. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm so sorry for what's happening. And I think, like I said, he did something for me in that moment. But because I got my phone number back at maybe about 3:30 in the morning, I was able to get back into my accounts. So here's what was happening. The scammers, they were busy DMing all my people, scamming all those people running that. But while they were doing that, I was actually slowly getting access back to my accounts one by one, starting first with my email address. I got back into my email, changed my password, got everything back in there, got them out, and then went to what do you call it? like Coinbase, like the most important things, money related stuff. And then it got to Instagram. But here's the thing with Instagram. They are absolutely no help. We're absolutely no help in this scenario. This was before Meta, or like the Meta Verify with the blue check mark, and there was customer service. Absolutely zero customer service when this was happening. There was nowhere for me to go. There was no email. Whenever I went to change passwords, they had moved my email to another email. So anytime I went to forget password, they were getting the email, and I couldn't get access to my account. So I was just there. And then I got the scariest text message ever. I get a message on WhatsApp from this random number that says, "Hey, mother effer, like, how does it feel to get scammed?" or something like that. I don't know, like whatever scammers say. They're like, "Hey," but anyways, the point of what they're saying, and this is true. If you go scroll all the way down to the bottom of my Instagram, I actually have a screenshot of that conversation. Basically, what they said is, "You pay me 10 grand right now, and then I'll give you back your account." And obviously, you're not gonna pay a scammer. If you wire them the Bitcoin that they wanted, you're not. First of all, you're not gonna get the money. You're gonna lose the money, and you're not gonna get your account back, because they always end up deleting your account afterwards to delete all the bullshit that they just ran through. Because they must have teams or software, because it was planned. Like there was probably 20, 30, 40 people working on this, because I know some people getting scammed, losing 40 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand in these little escapades. Luckily for me, I was able to, God willing, get my account back, my phone number back, but I was never able to get my original Instagram back, which was at Miami Patron, which I invested close to probably $30,000 to $40,000 doing shout outs. I invested heavily. I had posts back from high school. That was my original account. And at the time, remember I was telling you I was doing these Zoom calls with the influencers, growing my business to 100. I was already, 7 figures on at this point. So all of those past clients, all of those followers, those tens of thousands of followers that I built were completely wiped out, because after the person started scamming and doing that, after about 2 hours of that, 3 hours of that, they went ahead and deleted my account, and I just was never able to get it back. On a fun side note, I ended up getting connected, because this was a thing in Miami. Like, I wasn't the only one. There was like 10, 20 other people every week in Miami that were going down. And I had a friend that was connected to some other hackers and stuff. So I paid this guy 5 grand to bring my account back. So I ended up getting the account back, which is kind of funny. I paid this hacker 5 grand to get my account back. I had it for 2 months, and then he literally blackmailed me, took it down again and said, "Hey bro, I'll bring it back, but you got to pay me another 2 grand. I think the guy was like broke or something. So I got scammed by the guy that brought me back. And I said, "I got scammed twice in 2 months. I'm done. You guys can keep the account. I'm going to start from scratch." So I know that was like a long story, but a lot of you might be asking, so DeAndre, how come you're doing all these numbers? You're talking about social funnel, you're talking about growing an Instagram following, but yet the things don't match up. And that's because now this is a brand new account. At the time of recording, I only have about 3,000 followers. And I haven't really been promoting any coaching or anything since that point. I've just been working in the referral market, kind of just sitting there. But now getting back into coaching, it probably makes sense for me to make a video like this, once again, updating people, because they're probably going to ask, like, okay, you're running social funnel, you're doing long form content, you're talking about these numbers, but your Instagram numbers don't really match out. And now you know why. I was SIM swapped, I was scammed. Luckily, I got some of my stuff back, and they took my Instagram, hacked it, messaged a bunch of people, scammed my followers, then deleted the account, and then this is my new account that I'm running on. But I'm excited for this brand new account. I'm excited for this new journey. Thank you so much for even watching this, because obviously you care about me and what my reputation and what I could do for you, which I'm totally excited to see how I can work with you and everything like that. But with that being said, let's build a brand new Instagram. If shit happens, you gotta just bounce back, and I'm the king of bouncing back and making things happen, right? So without further ado, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Peace out. See ya.